This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 663, How to Stop Spending Money on Things You Don't Need, by Julie Petersen with MoneyMiniBlog.com. And I am Dan. I'm your host here on the show. I'm here every weekday reading to you from some of the best personal finance blogs on the planet. And a reminder, please share your ideas for this show with us. If you have a topic request, come and send it to us via oldpodcast.com. That's oldpodcast.com. And if you didn't know, we have 4 other podcasts in this podcast family where we read blogs to you. They are Optimal Living Daily, Optimal Health Daily, Optimal Business Daily, which I also narrate, and Optimal Relationships Daily. You can subscribe to all of them to get a lot more blogs read to you for free. For now, let's get to our post as we optimize your life. How to Stop Spending Money on Things You Don't Need, by Julie Petersen with MoneyMiniBlog.com. Getting caught up in a shopping spree is easier than anything. You just have to take that wallet out of your pocket and proceed with your decision. This obviously applies especially when you have enough money to spend. Disorganized spending is a very common tendency which is present in today's consumer behavior. But these rushed decisions are more than often bringing disappointment and regret. Once you get home, you begin to realize that your spending was not purposed at all. The worst part is when you realize that the thing that you've just bought isn't serving you any good. You see, managing your funds is a fundamental skill that everyone should possess. I bet you're hearing this article because you've already become aware of your spending problem. You've accepted it as a problem, and that's very important for your progress. No worries, we're here to help. In today's article, you'll learn a few strategies that should successfully teach you how to avoid the useless spending habits which frequently cause you disappointment. Pay attention and also apply what you learn here. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time. 1. Develop a bigger spending goal. Instead of spending small bucks on all sorts of things, start saving money for objects that cost more but are much more valuable and qualitative. This strategy might sound like a paradox, but it really makes sense if you think about it. The things that cost more money are usually offering you more value. For example, you might want to change your laptop as you want to play new games or do different and more advanced things. Now, if you always think about that bigger purpose, you'll find it hard to spend money on irrelevant objects that do you no good. So if you're always spending money on things that you don't need, having a bigger goal in mind will most likely eliminate that urge of yours for good. 2. Use the 45-minute rule. The 45-minute rule is an invention of a famous finance blogger named Bridget Casey. The rule is really simple. If you are not using an object for at least 45 minutes each day, you just don't need it. This sounds pretty insane, but if you break it down and look at the time spent each week, 5.25 hours, it starts to make sense. Take a close look in your closet, for example. How many things do you actually need? Now look in your own room. Is it filled with objects that you consistently use, or they're just sitting comfortably while filling the space? Every time you consider buying something, think about the 45-minute rule. Once you understand that you don't need something, it's crazy to think that you're still going to buy it. 3. Become aware of your spending triggers. Each and every one of us has spending triggers. These triggers are 99% of the time emotional and psychological. For some people, these triggers were allowed to persist up to the point where they became disempowering habits. If you care to remove these triggers, you will no longer be tempted to buy irrelevant objects. So, next time you're buying something, carefully examine what made you do it. Was it your friend that had to be impressed? Was it the mall that you visited? Or was it just a usual urge to spend money? Figure out the triggers and start removing them piece by piece. How do you do it? Well, you just become very aware of them. Once you understand that you don't need a thing, you will not buy it. 4. Avoid the most tempting places and activities. Some of you might be used to shopping each day. You choose the places where you spend your time according to your shopping habits, and it suddenly becomes a cycle. Now, the easiest way to avoid spending money on things that you don't need is to just avoid any provocative situations. If you're buying things on your way to work, change the route. If you're buying clothes that you throw away in 2 weeks each weekend you're going to the mall, stop going to the mall. I think you get the point. Now, if you're also an online shopper, stop accessing your most frequently visited shopping sites. You can even block the links using special browser add-ons. Lastly, stop clicking ads that sell you stuff. You can block them too by installing Ad Blocker. Either way, you have to understand that useless spending is caused only by you. You need to assume the responsibility and not blame others for your bad choices. When you take the responsibility, it'll be easier for you to avoid all of these temptations. With time, you'll be able to visit all the places that tempted you before and never worry about any triggers or bad decisions. Once you learn how to spend your money with care and purpose, your thoughts and feelings will definitely become more positive. Moreover, your budget will look different, and you'll be able to save and plan for bigger things that not everyone can have. You just listened to the post titled How to Stop Spending Money on Things You Don't Need by Julie Petersen with MoneyMiniBlog.com. And again, if you're interested in hearing more blogs, more great content being narrated to you for free, please check out our 4 other shows: Optimal Living Daily, Optimal Health Daily, Optimal Business Daily, and Optimal Relationships Daily. And you can search for the word optimal in the podcast app of your choice, and all 5 of those shows should pop right up for you. And that'll do it for today. Have yourself a terrific rest of the day, and I will see you back here tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.